Hello, you beautiful people. My name is Davi. I'm joined by Abe and Charlie. Welcome back to another Tony Tuesday.
How you doing?
For our viewers and listeners, we hope you guys are doing well. Just a quick heads up, this episode is actually available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, specifically the discussion portion of the show. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so that you can be notified for when we have a new upload. And also, thank you so much for our subscribers here on YouTube and liking this video and also sharing our videos. We love you guys and thank you so much for the support.
Also, if you want to check us out on Patreon, you can find the link down below. We have quite a few of you joining us there and some recent ones too. So thank you very much for those of you who checked out our Patreon. It's $5 a month. You get to watch this fully uncut with us. We give you a countdown and you can watch it in sync. We have a little Sopranos watch party.
Ooh.
Indeed.
How you guys doing? How you feeling?
Chilling, bro. We have coming up in June. We got a lot of shows to do.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we do.
But Tony Tuesday must go on. We are trying to fit in as much as we can. Apologies if an upload is late here and there, but the plan is for Tony Tuesday to continue, but to bring you a different flavor of a couple different things too. So be on the lookout for that.
And before we get into episode 7, watching too much television, Abe, can you read the comments from our previous 20 Tuesday?
I feel attacked. So this first comment comes from A Tree on Patreon, and it says, "I'm from New Jersey, and we don't tip our gas station attendants, or at least I've never met anyone who's done that. Have you tipped an attendant? Also, I'm pretty sure they're not allowed to let you pump your own gas. Either it's illegal for them to let you, or it's just illegal for you to do it. But I don't see why anyone would want to anyway, to be honest. It's more convenient, in my opinion."
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely tipped before because
We have had some here.
Yeah.
Like, we have had some here, and I like vividly remember when I was a kid, like, my parents would tip the attendant.
right.
But I think maybe that's just because, like, it's not a required thing in our state. So when we see it, like, I don't know, maybe people
Yeah.
outside of New Jersey can relate, but maybe we're just dumb for tipping the attendant.
Yeah.
This next comment also comes from Patreon. It's from Ryan O'Neill, and it says, "It actually wasn't Gloria that was taken off the show due to an attitude problem. It was the original actress for Adriana's FBI informant friend, Danielle. They shot scenes with Fairuza Balk for season 3 finale when they first meet, and it actually aired with her in the role of 2001, but she was quickly replaced by Lola Glaudini for season 4, and the original scene was reshot, the version that we watched. You can find the original scene on YouTube." Yeah, I know people were kind of getting, frustrated that we were saying automatically that maybe it was Gloria that was cut from the show. I figured honestly that it wouldn't be her because they wouldn't go out of their way to like write her out of the show this way if that was the case.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they would just recast or drop the character if that was the case. So it makes a lot more sense that it was Danielle. This next one comes from Young Beck, and it says, quote, "You're a great guy, Tony. They say that each time he gives them something or does them a favor, never for his actions. It's like he notices this pattern and despises them for it."
Yeah.
That's a really good call out. And the last one here comes from Corey Landry. "One of my favorite dream of Tony's ever. The eerie feeling is unmatched, particularly when the ceiling begins to fall on Tony and we see the ceiling with the chandelier. It's super unsettling, and Gloria's ghostly feeling only adds to it. Wonderfully done." Yeah, it was definitely one of the eeriest sequences for dreams for sure.
I think it was one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
I've seen.
Yeah, 100%.
Because it wasn't like, I don't know, the other ones to a point felt like so odd to the point where it was a little out of place for me, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
You think the transition from that we saw last episode was a lot better compared to the other dream sequences that we've seen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. It was done a lot more, I don't know. It was
Just flowed better, is that what you would say?
Yeah, because I mean, like, I always remember the one with the fishes with Pussy, and like he turns into a fish and he just starts talking, whatever. And it's like, I get the symbolism, whatever, but it's different. Like, I don't know. I felt like this made more sense, was more poetic.
That one
in a
was a
way.
lot more like out there in terms
Right.
of symbolism and everything, and just like what it was showing you. This one very much was, I agree with you what you're saying. It was a little bit more poetic and more subdued, but also just like tasteful and classy, and like the way that it was done was just very well done. Also, just one last thing before we start, shout out to the person, I'll also put the comment here, who said it was the book Scary Stories We Tell in the Dark that I got the ribbon around the neck symbolism from. Shout out to you, because that's exactly the book I was thinking.
Wow. Okay. I've read it, but because it had multiple volumes, I've never read that one.
That one was the one I would always freak out about. Like, damn, what if I meet a pretty girl and her head just falls off when she takes her ribbon off? Like, irrational fear.
That's crazy.
Anyway.
With that being said, y'all, episode 7, watching too much television. When I hear the HBO original intro, I always associate it with
Game of Thrones? Yeah.
And that's going to happen
Till I
this
die.
coming Sunday.
Yes, sir.
I remember for House of the Dragon, they kept the exact same intro, right?
Same intro, same song.
Not gonna lie, I kind of think that's whack.
Yeah, I wish we had a different theme.
Like, you can keep it in the same world of themes, but the same theme just feels lazy.
What do you hear? What do you say?
Look who's back.
He's out of the can.
You look like you're in Miami.
Hey, you look like you were in Miami.
The hell's it just repeating Tony's?
Oh, you guys.
Salud.
Salud.
Just a second.
If I don't see her each day,
My song.
Aw, I love Sinatra, bro. Oh my god, so damn good.
Say hello to Brian Camarado, Com's cousin. The financial guy.
They're going to start bringing him in.
Here, get back on your feet.
Thanks, Dave. Not that I don't appreciate it, but I could have used the boost when I was gone, too. Fucking boost. Then there's Ma with the private home care. You know, she almost lost the spot at Green Grove. An extra 5 G's it cost me just to hold her place.
Well, you went back here 30 seconds. You already got a fistful of
Yeah, I was
cash,
gonna
not
say,
to
I'm not
mention
gonna-
the no-show jobs I got for you.
You're right, Tom. I know.
Enjoy the party.
There you go. Enjoy the party.
There's got to be a Reddit thread. Many times we just cut to straight.
Cousin Brian
Breasts.
out here. Just
Tony laughing.
wasn't Cousin Brian with a date last time?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Doesn't he
was.
have a girl?
Subsequent to that incident, did Mr. Cross telephone Rusty Arnold?
She watching crime shows now.
Your Honor, objection. This whole line of questioning is irrelevant.
Even the dog's watching, man. Locked in.
Locked in.
I just made my ruling. You are required to answer.
But isn't there some law about testifying against your husband?
Excuse me?
Got it. Spousal privilege.
That makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
Damon should learn this on a TV show. Crazy. Makes sense. The title, Watching Too Much Television.
Is that a real show, or did they make that up just for this?
I don't know.
Someone tell us in the
So
comments.
you can't testify against your spouse?
Correct. I actually don't know if it's you can't, but you have the right, like, to not. Someone can help me clarify.
Cousin Brian. Wild
Shout
night.
out Cousin Brian. He has got a wild night too.
My pants. So Ma wasn't shit in the back. We'll go get breakfast.
Oh, I bet. I'll go with you. Any investment advice for ambitious young man such as myself?
Buy land, I guess. God ain't making any more of it.
It's a good call.
It's true. My house is worth nearly triple what I pay.
Just wait 6 years, buddy.
Sometimes there's money and shit.
How do you mean?
Nothing, I don't know.
We're just talking here. Come on.
Some guy I went to school with, this black guy. We worked one summer for this not-for-profit housing group. Told me about some scam his minister was involved with up in Harlem.
Oh, that was the guy.
The priest? Reverend?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, but I don't think it is.
As long as the feds are guaranteeing the home mortgage, the banks figure what the hell. They'll own the money. You get a front man to buy houses in some crummy neighborhood. Talking about some real shit boxes. Maybe they're worth like 100 grand a piece. Next, you tie up with some non-profit organization who goes to HUD, says they intend to buy these houses from your stooge. They're gonna convert them to homes for working class blacks, blah, blah, blah. Thing is, though,
Who's watching this? That was a very intentional
Yeah.
shot.
Someone was watching.
Either that or...
Could have been Furio who was watching them.
Well, I feel like it was just withholding information from
Maybe.
the audience. Or it could be him. Maybe he has...
Hey, bro. Hey, brother.
Oh, he got another phone.
Furio?
Yeah, he was holding another phone. I don't know
A
if that...
burner phone?
Carmela, it's me, Furio.
I guess I missed you this morning. I was in the bathtub.
The reason I call, I leave my sunglasses in someplace, I don't know.
Oh, you're kidding. Oh, let me have a look around.
That is textbook.
Yeah.
But I get the pictures from the housewarming finally.
Oh, good. Bring him next time.
There's a pretty one of you.
Oh, that's sweet. I don't see the glasses, Fuhrer.
That's okay, I probably leave them home.
Man, this guy's down bad now, too. Yeah, our brother's in love.
I took the liberty of filling Maurice in on the broad strokes.
Okay, we got a guy. Dr. Fried is a urologist. We're gonna give him $500,000 of our money, have him grab up these 4 houses on Garside Street for 125 grand a piece.
The old first war.
Once we own the houses, we got an appraiser who play ball. He's gonna reappraise them in the $300,000 range. What you do, Maurice, is you take the phony appraisals to HUD. Tell them your urban housing league wants to buy up these shitholes, convert them into low-cost housing for working families. Once HUD guarantees the mortgage app, you take it to the bank. They cut a check, and we work it up nice.
At which point I assume my organization fails to make the mortgage payment. Unforeseen construction delays and repeated vandalism forced the project into dissolution. We all walk away from the houses.
Your cut will be in the 10% of the profit range.
My office will write a letter in strong support of your application.
Sounds about right.
Oh my God.
Just scamming, bro. Straight scamming.
Crazy.
So that was what they were talking about in the diner.
Yeah.
Basically, that exact plan.
Yeah.
Remember that time in Atlantic City you brought Irina, your old girlfriend?
Yeah, the cystic fibrosis thing, the fundraiser.
This is awkward.
Oh no.
Irina and I are seeing each other.
What? You're fucking kidding me.
I met her that night at the fundraiser. I gave her my card. She was having some problem with her landlord. She called me months later after you two broke it off. One thing led to another.
All right, take it easy. It's ancient history.
I've been meaning to tell you. I feel like I owe you an explanation.
What am I, her father? You're both adults. Enjoy yourself.
It's more than that. I care for her very deeply. Roz and I are separated. The heart wants what the heart wants, I guess.
Heart also wants what the dick wants.
He's not wrong. Why else are you dating a literal like child? She's like what, 23?
Yeah, she's hella young. Interesting. I didn't know if that was actually going to bother Tony or not, but seems like he's unbothered.
Shy lights, the best.
Yeah, I just feel like it's problematic though.
Into the same labels. Tommy James and them damn Shondells.
See, a lot of people think that, but they're wrong. Shy lights were on Brunswick.
See you soon.
Beautiful girl, little needy. Frankly, I'm glad to have her off my payroll.
Thanks. Thanks for understanding.
That's a crazy line.
I'm so glad to have her off my payroll. He said.
I can relate.
Dr. Freed, you are now the legal owner.
Eat my dust, Donald Trump.
Hey, Adriana.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
God.
Did you go haunt a house or something?
It's been a while. Figured I'd check in.
So you crawl up my ass?
Okay, she is different.
Yeah, we met her already though. She is a different person.
Yeah, she's different.
Paulie Gualtieri's out of jail. How does Christopher feel about that?
She's handling the case now.
How is Christopher anyway? He looked tired last time I saw him.
Look, if you're gonna turn me into a fucking traitor, fine. But do me a favor and stop asking about him like you give a shit how he is.
How's he doing with his drug problem?
He doesn't have a drug problem.
How are you doing, Aid? Really?
I'm fine. We're both fine. As a matter of fact, we're thinking of finally getting married.
Shouldn't have said nothing.
Yeah.
Should not have said a thing.
But like, can they really do anything about that? I don't
know.
No, I don't think they can step in.
The only reason I say that is because like Christopher doesn't know any of this stuff in the background, so he doesn't know why there would be a rush to get married.
Built that almost 80 years ago. There's a stonemason, the old man. Came over from Avelina with $4 in his pocket.
Yeah, but I saw in a book where you could get a hotel room for like 10 cents a week then. Your room service must have been like 1 or 2 cents a meal.
Talk about history here, AJ. Your family's history. Newark's history.
I'll be so real. When I was a kid, I was so fascinated by room service. It's all Home Alone.
This neighborhood used to be beautiful. 100% Italian. The 1920s, most of them right off the boat. Most Italians couldn't even find a church that wanted them. So what did they do? Did they cry? Did they go to the government with their hand out? No. They took care of their own problems. They said, you don't want us in your church? Fine. We'll build our own. A better one. I mean, look around. Look at all these buildings around here. Most of them are falling down into the ground. But that church is still standing. You know why?
You're about to enter a business.
The bricks?
You're going to do that.
Every Sunday, Italians from the old neighborhood, they drive miles to come here to pray.
Love
to
that,
keep this
man.
place alive.
So how come we never do?
Yeah, he got him there.
Buy land, AJ, because God ain't making any more of it.
Talking about all the nice building, but that's exactly what you're going to be doing.
Genuinely, I think the last time I remember them being one-on-one like this was like that time where he was apologizing with the pizza.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like multiple seasons ago. It's the bando.
See those houses over there? I'm buying them.
Those crappy ones? Well, what for?
For an investment. What have I been saying?
I don't know.
He's trying to teach you gentrification, brother. Pay attention. Actually, more like scamming, but it is what it is.
Hey, what's up?
What's up? 5-0?
Yeah, I'm Starsky and this is Hutch.
Smoke crack or crank?
Oh, thank you. We're just having a look around.
Yeah, no iron if you ain't buying, man.
Thought this was a free country.
Unless you want something, motherfucker, get the f off our street.
Oh, the language on you. You blow your father with that mouth?
You my sister?
Bitch.
Hey, take it easy. I don't want no trouble.
AJ's loving this.
Yeah, well, this is our neighborhood now. Guinea motherfucker.
Yeah, I can see that.
So that's a crack hoe.
Jeez. That's got to be one of the quotable lines.
That's a crack hoe.
Well, they do get married, brings them closer, obviously, and by extension gets her closer to Tony.
It could cause her to stop cooperating. The guilt becomes overwhelming.
Yeah, you and nay. supportive or discouraging?
If anyone objects to this marriage, speak now or forever hold your peace.
I say neutral or supportive.
Even if we discourage it, she's likely to go through with it anyway.
Agreed then. They have our blessing.
Yeah, because it doesn't solve anything in the interim. Only if it goes to trial. But like they can still have her as an informant, unless she just completely decides to stop cooperating.
The thing is, she could be an informant, but then what good does that do in court if she doesn't testify?
I'm not an attorney.
I'm not either. I'm just asking questions.
Wow.
Assemblyman? The contrast, he lives in a nice suburb.
Is he going to show up with Irina here, bro?
We haven't seen her in a while.
We haven't.
Really would have been better if we met over at Denny's.
Why you say that?
It's in the neighborhood.
So what's up?
Turned out one of the houses was a crack den.
So?
What so? We gotta get him out of there.
Why didn't your guys roust him?
Oh, nice. Bunch of white guys setting off caps in the ghetto. That won't attract any attention at all.
What do you want me to do?
Exert some influence, make some calls. Get the donut squad to go down there and roust the shitbags.
The donut squad. Oh, here she is.
Hello, Tonya.
I knew it.
How you doing, hon?
I'm very good. No, I'm very well. Thanks you very much.
She's taking a class at the community college. English is her second language.
No way. Couldn't tell.
The HUD approval came through. In 2 weeks, we're going to be looking at a huge windfall.
See, that's why you're a politician and not a businessman. Maximum value is the big picture. There must be $7,000 a copper pipe in there. They haven't taken it out already.
I still don't know what you expect me to do about it.
We'll take the $7K out of your rent?
Well, no.
Come on, Ronnie. University of Michigan. Go figure it out.
So freaking proposed to me already.
Yeah, I mean, look,
No, he already did. He already did.
Let's actually, yes, he already did.
Let's get married.
There we go. That's what I was trying to say.
Where'd this come from?
It's gonna be 2 years we're engaged.
Oh, wow.
2 years.
A wife can't testify against her husband.
Can't have a club, stay out all night getting high when you have a kid.
What if we didn't have kids?
What's the point of being married?
I mean, what if we can't? If I can't? Would you still love me?
Of course I'd still love you. Why?
Does she know for a fact she can't? Or she knows that she'll...
There's something you should know. A long time ago, years ago, I had a medical procedure. It was before we met. My uterus got pierced.
Both of them?
There's only one.
Both of them.
Oh my God.
So what does that mean? You can't get pregnant?
My doctor said it might be hard. A friend of mine gave me the name of a specialist in Manhattan.
You knew you were damaged goods and you never fucking told me?
Hey, yo.
How could you call me that?
Jesus fucking Christ, how could you lie to me like that?
I tried to tell you once. I wanted to. I was afraid that you wouldn't propose.
You don't get it, Adriana. I don't have a son. The Moltisanti name ends. That's it.
We could adopt.
Yeah, that's great. Some kid with chinky eyes called Moltisanti. He get his ass kicked every day.
You said you'd still love me.
That doesn't mean I'll fucking marry you.
Jesus Christ.
Yikes.
That's just horrible.
You don't want to lose this one.
She's right. We could have more kids than the Kennedys. You're married to some twat. What good is it?
You gotta have balance in a relationship.
What if the kid thing never happens?
Come on, medicine today, technology.
You want my advice? And this is nothing about Aid or anybody else. Stay single as long as you can. Oh, no offense, but ask me, marriage and that thing don't jive.
Everybody we know is married.
Not everybody.
He's right about that, though. Doesn't work.
Right.
When the shoe was on the other foot, your spleen, she stood by you, right?
That's
You
true.
gonna end up like my Uncle Junior?
Or worse, like Paulie.
I'm glad they're talking some sense into him.
Man, still went absolutely crazy. I knew he was getting high in the car.
Or is it him or... Yeah.
Shit's just sad to see, dude.
The fact is, Mo, these people are criminals. Drug addicts and dealers who've been occupying that house illegally.
What about the police? Get the seller. What's his name? The urologist. Let him make the call.
They're crack addicts. They'll be back there living in 2 hours.
The deal was for me to effectuate the purchase of these houses, period. Nobody mentioned anything about violence. We renounced it, remember?
I'm in a bind here, Mo.
Appreciate that, but what do you expect me to do?
Get some of your people to handle it.
What people?
Well, we can't send whites in there.
He said, find some black people. Rough them up.
I'm on the board, Ron.
Fine, I understand. How about you take the $7,000 this is costing out of your end, then?
Oh, come on. You know what I pay in child support to my first wife? The chances I'm taking with this thing? I'm putting it all on the line if I get caught.
So you get some kids, gangbangers, whatever. You throw them some money. When you think about it from a policing standpoint, it's just one group of recidivists beating on another.
Stop trying to justify it, Ron.
Yikes.
Let me tell you something else. Guys like Tony, you don't fool around with these people.
He's got a point there.
Uh-oh.
My son, I don't know what he understands.
Fascinated by crack hoes.
We need to talk about your recent behavior in here.
Ho ho! Bagger.
You want to talk about that now?
Yes.
It was my judgment that at the time you were in crisis about Gloria's suicide.
Didn't you get the flowers I sent?
Your behavior was unacceptable, Anthony. You cannot have these outbursts and expect to redeem yourself with an FTD bouquet.
I'm sorry, all right?
It's good that you're sorry, but no, it's not all right. We've been down this road before.
You tell him, Melfi.
The fact that you're angry is fine, and it's okay to talk about your anger. But when it manifests itself in physicality, it becomes unacceptable.
Hey, I never laid a finger on you.
You loomed. You threw my tissue holder.
Yeah, and then I picked it up. I was very upset. You lied to me.
I did not lie to you.
You withheld information about a very sensitive subject. I know what I did was wrong, okay? And you may not believe this, but I did exercise impulse control, and I have been controlling my anger. This thing with my son, I went to show him the old neighborhood, and we got accosted by these crackheads. One of them had a gun, and the other one threw a bottle at my car. Now, it may not sound like much, but I let it go. I drove away.
Well, in the future, I'll ask that you extend to me the same courtesy you would a crack addict.
Cooked him.
He liked it too.
Yeah. He's like, all right, you got me. Valid.
How about as long as we're being truthful here, opening up?
Oh, boy. He's going to say some shit.
I've been holding a grudge against you for recommending that Wendy Cobbler, that half-ass adolescent shrink. That stupid bitch almost sent my daughter to Barcelona.
The deflection. He just had to bring up something about her.
Yeah.
You're right. It's no excuse. It's no excuse.
I knew I hit something last night when I turned off the road.
Mr. T.
My hands on the
How you gonna fix this, Christopher?
Calvin Cutter's a murderer.
I don't think he has to try very hard, if I'm being honest, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Listen, I've been doing some thinking. I'm not happy that you lied to me, but I think I want to try and deal with it.
Really?
I love you, Adriana. I want you in my life.
I love you too, Christopher.
He doesn't even apologize for
Are you
the
all
things he said to her.
You got to start with that now?
I just want to be sure it's real.
It is real. I love you.
When can we get married?
I was thinking maybe our anniversary we could go to Vegas.
Yeah. He's high.
You guys want to get married by some Elvis impersonator? Why don't we have it here? All your friends could come. Yeah, we'll have it in the great room or in the yard, even if it's nice out. We can have Artie cater it.
Artie's literally going to fucking die at that thing, bro.
And believe me, you will not save any money in Vegas. My cousin Jackie and her husband Tommy, $60,000 at blackjack.
Oof. That's a hit.
I'm getting married.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Let's see who he sends. Is that Furio's car?
I don't know.
No.
Oh, damn.
Literal children.
Oh my God, there's a whole kid in there.
These are literally kids with machine guns. That's
God.
That's
so sad. Oh my God.
Are you serious? It's gonna shoot the place up?
Get the fuck out my house, motherfucker.
Oh my God.
There's a literal kid in there, bro. Like a child.
Right.
I'll kill you, come around here, bitch.
Don't come back here no more.
There's a baby, bro.
Oh, the cracked out guy got a gun. One of these kids is gonna die.
He's got a knife.
Yeah. All right.
Yo. Don't come around here no more.
Oh, hit him.
That's my brother. Get out of here, you filthy bitch.
Oh, it's their kid.
I told you young people that crack is some bad shit.
Jesus.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. Back in the basement.
For you.
What's this?
The music box.
Cigars. Oh.
Damn.
Holy shit.
Yikes.
Paddock?
Yeah, me and Ralph got lucky on a new real estate investment.
You actually did it? Tony, I was just speculating. I never meant for you to...
Relax. Your name will never come up.
This is like a $15,000 watch, Tony. I can't take this.
It's just a little thank you, that's all.
That's the thing. I feel like they're gonna be bringing him in for financial advice, and
He's going to get implicated. Oh, Fulio's coming over for sure.
Yep.
For sure.
And boom.
Boom.
Imperial High, good morning.
he don't look too happy though.
Oh, he does not.
Today I'll wait in the car, I think.
Oh, he knows. He feels it. He knows, like, he has the feeling that if he goes in there and flirts with her, it's wrong. He's like keeping his distance.
You doing some work in the house?
Yeah, sinking some anchors for wall mirror.
She knows his bullshit. Yeah. Also, he had the watch box, like right out.
He had it covered by
plain
something.
sight.
I think he had it covered by something.
Don't matter.
That's the moose.
Okay, these two together again.
4 months I'm up there like the man in the Iron Mask. Not one visit. Not even a fucking phone call.
Guy didn't reach out at all.
John, when do I ever complain?
A lot. Lately, a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
Even before I left, he was treating me like the ugly girl at the dance. I'm sucking wind, and he's rolling in it with that fucking Christ killer.
Ash.
Fucking zone. Listen, John, I know we talk sometimes. I tell you my problems, you tell me yours. And I have the highest regards for Carmine. Even still, this shit don't leave the table, right?
I'm hurt that you even have to ask.
There's your pal.
I'll call him later. I'm gonna make a stop. I'll see you back at the office and make sure that she's on the list for the fundraiser.
Who is that? Who just rolled by?
Tony.
Oh, was it Tony?
Yeah, he's the one who drives that Suburban.
You're right.
Don't forget the fireplace mantles and the wall sconces. Go downtown, the yuppies pay top dollar for that shit.
We're on it, Tom. Don't worry.
What is this coffee place? Because this cup shows up in everything, even till today.
I think it's just a generic coffee cup that they have in New York.
Okay.
In the Jersey area.
Maybe I'll see you over there then.
Maybe you will.
I'm taking it. I'll put it on my card, okay? It's with my clothes.
Of course, I'll get the seamstress.
The best part is going to be seeing how much people give us. I'll tell you, though, the main thing about getting married, I could never be called to testify.
What do you mean?
A wife can't testify against the husband.
Oh, right. Actually, though, I don't think that's actually true.
What do you mean?
They did a whole murder she wrote about that. See, this butler thought his wife couldn't testify against her husband, but it turns out, legally, she actually could.
Huh. So now is she going to have second thoughts about the whole thing?
Oh, my God. It's a simple question. Can they make me testify or not?
The short answer? Probably. An organized crime, or RICO, the feds will spend a fortune putting on their case. Believe me, if they want you to testify, they're going to find a way.
Yeah, there we go.
Round you up to an even 60 G's.
And there's plenty more where that came from. A lot of poor families need affordable housing in Newark.
You ever feel bad about any of this? When I think about where we started out.
You know, I used to think what I did made a difference. The anti-drug programs, the voter drives. But over the years, it's like shoveling shit against the tide. You know that.
I guess.
You cut corners, but you help out. Do the best you can. Hey, if it ain't us, it's gonna be somebody else.
We were gonna lead a revolution, Maurice.
The revolution got sold, Ronnie.
Here's something I never thought I'd say to the federal government.
The way he said that.
Bro, I didn't even notice that was Meadow right next to her.
Right.
Oh.
For the longest time.
No scissors. Bad luck.
Really? That's a thing?
It's diapers.
Oh, you think so?
It's diapers.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's not a baby shower.
I know. I don't know why I thought that because she said I was thinking something. Yeah.
Yeah, she's not really feeling it anymore. She lights. I forgot how he said it.
Chai lights? Oh, boy.
We all have that song.
He's crying about Irina?
I don't know. Uh-oh.
Where the hell is this man going?
He's back in the neighborhood, the Assemblyman's neighborhood.
He's back at Ronnie's neighborhood?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
He's going to try to steal Ronnie's girl?
Oh, no.
Used to be his.
She's off the payroll.
I know. Good Lord.
I knew it. I knew it, bro.
How does he know he's not home?
I don't know. Is he trapped?
Oh! Tony, what's going on?
Is he going to kill him?
What's up?
What the
hell's wrong with him?
Look, want to just calm down and... Tony, this is crazy. No! Tony!
What the hell?
Tony!
No!
Yo!
Well, the girls in New Jersey, you had to this one?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Cry like a bitch.
Jesus.
Damn.
What a way to end the episode.
Yo, I know that's toxic, but also, damn.
It's insane.
Yeah, I don't know. It's toxic, but
It's just
also
the hypocrisy
alpha,
in all of it, like with Tony. Like it's just that's classic. That's something what Tony Soprano would do.
Facts.
Like we, and
low-key,
that's something that
I
he would.
wish I could do, but without any repercussions.
That's crazy.
Yo, Charlie.
In your imagination, bro. You know when you think about certain scenarios and stuff, you're like, damn, what if I could do that and it didn't matter? No, you're not gonna ever do it.
You might need a session with Melfi, brother.
Let's buck one up right now.
You're never gonna do it, but it's like, just think about it. That was crazy. I thought he was going to whip out a gun.
No, he's not.
I didn't know what the heck he was gonna do until.
No, he started staring, and I was like, all right, he's going to beat the shit out of him, or kill him. But
Can't
I didn't know.
The belt is so
The belt is crazy.
emasculating.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like it.
that's like you're beating your child.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
I mean, yeah, he put him in his place too. Like he's like, I own you. Essentially, that's the highlight of the season for me so far.
That scene.
Yeah, bro, that's insane. Reminds me of being a child.
Yeah, he literally made him
Yeah, you were the bad kid who got beat.
made him feel like a child. Made him feel like Jesus. That is.
If you got Latino parents, you know what's up.
But if you're the good kid, maybe you don't.
And you got it from this one.
So we see at the beginning of this episode, Ronnie opens up to Tony that he is seeing Irina. And Tony's like, oh yeah, that's fine. And in our heads we're like, that's not fine.
Right.
We're like, we know how Tony is. We know that he's not a rational person. And
Took him a while to realize.
we get to the end of this episode and he starts getting his feels and goes to Ronnie's house and absolutely gives him a spanking.
Yeah.
Like a father would to a son, or
Worse.
like a worse, right? Way worse.
Worse.
And obviously, Ronnie in that position, you feel you can't fight back because you're dealing with a mob boss. What are you gonna do?
Right.
What are you gonna do?
He told the other politician too. He said,
You
guys
don't mess with them.
Tony or whatever. You can't mess with these guys.
Yeah, and he did mess with him because he went after
his girl,
his Kumar,
his former lover.
Yeah. And I just want to know with that scene, what stood out to you and Tony specifically in that conversation with Melfi and now going to where we were now?
Yeah, it's interesting because I think that, that first conversation that he had with the assemblyman, at first he just thought that he was, hooking up with Irina, which I think would have been a completely different thing than the fact that he was actually like having a relationship with her and all this stuff and like cared about her and all that. And that, I think, realization that like he and her were like together only set in after the first visit that he had, like at the house where he saw her. She was making, lunch or whatever, egg salad, all this stuff. And something with him there, like there's a control piece or there's something that is a connection to Irina that clearly that he wasn't over. Yeah. But it just goes back to the thing that Melfi was telling him is like, it's okay for you to be angry, but when it manifests in, physicality, then that's unacceptable. And it seems like that's exactly what happened in this situation at the end where he had this moment. It's so interesting, the stuff that can trigger him. He had this one moment about like playing this song that was like basically missing your girl or whatever. And it completely set him off. And mind you, like, he wanted to wash his hands clean of Irina because of all of the crazy stuff that was happening. And, she was just like completely madly in love with him and he wanted nothing to do with her. And all of a sudden he's, back, and upset about the whole situation. It's a little bit crazy.
She would bring him a lot of trouble and she was a troubling person in general. And I think the whole thing with him is he's trauma bonded to her. So as much as he wanted to leave her and all that stuff in that moment, as soon as he sees her with somebody else, it's triggering. And he's like, damn, I actually really do love her still and care about her. And part of me thinks that Tony is attracted to these girls because he feels like a sense of...
it's like a protector, a father figure.
He's a provider.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna say. Is that like he has this like caretaker mentality, and there was this sense of seeing somebody else that he knows like being able to take care of her, or taking on that role didn't seem right, and also like she seems a little bit more calm, a little bit more lucid, and whatever. And maybe it's the the life that Tony wishes he could have. Right? Could Irina in a perfect world be his wife? Would that solve his problems or whatnot?
The other thing too, though, that you have to remember about Irina, about all the different attempts that she's had, calling his house, doing all this stuff, this could potentially be intentional as well. You never know.
Intentional in what way?
Her dating the assemblyman, because she knows they're connected in some way, right? Maybe she knows that it's going to trigger. I'm just maybe not,
You
but
think
I'm just
she's
saying
being toxic?
No, I'm saying there's a potential.
Yeah.
I'm not saying she is, but I'm saying there is the potential that could be the case.
Yeah.
Because you never know. Because I feel like everything else that we've seen with her, she always finds some way to re-enter his life in some form.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I would be curious for people to, up to this point, like your takes on Irina and Tony's relationship and why she continuously is this factor in his life.
And she's still around, right? We're still seeing her through, since season 1. She's still, a prevalent character. So there is a lot of intention as to why she's still around, for sure.
Yeah.
And if we look at Adriana and development of that situation and her watching, I have no idea what she was watching at the beginning.
Some sort of crime
she was
show.
watching a crime show, and boom, something went off in her light bulb. She was like, oh my God, if I get married with Christopher, I won't be able to testify. And that turned out to be false because they weren't married prior to when she was with the detective with the private detective.
Which makes sense. The title, Watching Too Much Television. Taking
So
stuff
she
from-
was imagining that, maybe that could fix everything. But specifically with Adriana, what are you guys thinking of her development so far in the narrative that they're developing with her? It's I love that they're taking their time with it, because it seems like they're slowly building up towards something. I don't know what it is, but they're building up towards something. We had, a lot of scenes with her in this episode, with her and Christopher specifically, and her opening up to Christopher, and Christopher completely shutting her down. And that was awful to see. But with Adriana specifically, what stands out to you in this season versus prior seasons? I know we're getting more of her, but what is something you've seen from her?
I think the more and more that I watch her, I just think of her and Christopher as these two like kids basically that fell into this life and they don't really know what the hell they're doing. And it almost feels like whatever the next step is, they go about it just because it's what they have to do almost, right? Like, I don't know. I felt like this entire thing of like getting married and all of that and proposing. You remember when Christopher proposed to her, it was like after cheating and like trying to make things right in a way. And this, their love is so toxic and complicated that it's like you question whether or not either of them truly like loves the other person. And that's what I keep thinking about with Adriana at this point is like, does she truly love Christopher to that level? Because he's a cheater, he's abusive, he gets high all the time. Like at this point, you're really not getting any other benefit other than just status within the family that's established. So in my mind, I mean, some people don't look at this stuff logically, so you got to think about like what her heart is saying. But right now, it almost feels like she has this kind of battle of like, does she have all this love? But she can't even think about that because right now she's just worried about her and Christopher not going to prison. So I think her character and the fact that they're taking it very slow with the development means that she's going to be very crucial for when the eventual like house of cards of all this falls down. Like she is going to be a key cog to breaking all of this up, in my opinion. Like there's just no way that they don't get her to testify and whatnot. And there's also just no way that nobody finds out. Nobody from the family finds out. That's just what keeps going on in my head.
Do you think their relationship is like almost like Bonnie and Clyde-esque or mixture of Romeo and Juliet-ish type of thing?
Yeah, I mean it feels very superficial, like their love for each other. I think honestly, if anything, these two are trauma bonded. Like,
oh no, for sure.
Like these two are the type where like they just have been through so much shit that all they know is each other, and there's a level of comfort in that supersedes the logic of whether or not this relationship is good for either of them. So that's where I think they're at. But it's crazy to me that like, it's not crazy because we've seen it build up, but like with Christopher, we saw him needing to think about the decision of marrying her after finding out that she probably can't bear children. And like needing to get high to,
numb.
And then to tell her the answer of all that. Like,
the thing is, like, he's doing this shit and not even realizing that it could make him infertile as well. So, like, he's also part of the problem.
Yeah, I don't think that's as much of a big consideration. I just think, like,
right, but still, like, when you look at it, it's like, yeah, this isn't helping either, buddy. Like,
right. No, definitely. Yeah, he's not one to look at himself.
Yeah.
As far as like the problem, clearly Adriana's the problem for everything. You know, the fact that he blew up at her when she didn't share that, she could have issues having kids. And I think that we're also kind of seeing, outside of the drug abuse problem, like we're seeing a parallel with Christopher and Tony of like the blowing up with the level of stress or anything that sets them off.
Actually, we're seeing, now that you mentioned it, we're seeing a like absolute parallel between the two, because both of them are like giving into their vices. Like Christopher's doing drugs, Tony is drinking, and then like acting on impulse and just being absolute wreck of a human being.
Yeah.
So yes, very much so.
Yeah, and it's like, it's tough because, if Tony was aware of the situation with Christopher, he'd be like, oh, you got to fix up. Like, you got to figure your shit out. But in the same vein, like, what kind of a model is Tony for Christopher that he is able to point a finger and say, you got to change X, Y, and Z?
Would you say Tony is the way Tony, because we've seen him in action in the mob where he overreacts, where he goes crazy.
Yeah.
You think Christopher is a product of that, from seeing it from Tony?
I think that there's definitely some correlation there. I also think that it's just the nature of the work. Like, those two are not the only two that we see freak out in this way. And I think the high level of stress of what they do in their jobs and their day-to-day is another factor to that. But, the fact that he looks up to Tony is now seeing a world where he can, potentially fill Tony's shoes one day, to me signifies that he's like modeling himself after him. And, the good with the bad, mainly the bad in this case, because Christopher can't really seem to figure out how to make good.
And they're blood, so it runs in the family.
Yeah.
Kind of blood, but yeah.
Yeah. But still. They got that soprano rage in them.
We're seeing Tony now going into real estate. He's got Carmela's, is that her nephew?
Yeah.
Her nephew, right?
Yeah,
Her nephew?
so. Cousin Brian.
Cousin Brian. Got Cousin Brian providing some financial education, and he's out here scamming the government.
He literally told them a story about a scam, and they're like, yo, we should do that shit.
And they went out and they did it, and they got a return. It looks like they're going to get a return.
Yeah.
Right. What, like Charlie said last episode, this season is about the root of all evil, money. And it's all about finding ways to get that money, whether it's legal, whether it's illegal, whatever it is, you want to do. You want to get the money.
Well, to be fair, I don't think there's a single legal way that they've gotten money at this point.
I think it's them also trying new ventures to get more money instead of the traditional ways that they got money this whole time.
So it's like, in the way the economy is and the way the mob has set up, and that in this generation, they have to get creative.
Yeah.
Yeah. The problem is greed, because they're doing, and I don't think anybody's being smart, because I understand that the economy, whatever they mentioned and all that, but their pursuit of seeking more money means more risk, and they're already being investigated by the FBI, and there's a trial with Uncle Junior and all this shit. So it's like, who here is like stopping to think about this stuff?
Well,
nobody.
I mean, to be fair, no, they are thinking about it, because if you look through everything that they did, they went through intermediaries for everything.
Of course, like they used politicians and whatever, but like these politicians could easily turn their backs on them and
do what?
Rat on them.
Oh yeah, you're gonna rat on yourself?
No, I mean, you rat on yourself, but like after the assemblyman got beat the shit out of, what does he feel like doing? I know he's not gonna rat on himself, but something could happen.
I think that what this episode shows to me is that like it's almost a level playing field of who's the worst. Like assemblyman versus mobster. Like pick your poison. They're both shitty people, and they both play a really dirty game. And the family, the mob, is politics, and politics is a dirty game. It's one and the same. Like the way that everything happened, the way that, you know, the exchange of money, the way that they went about business, you know, Tony saying, oh, well, it's your problem if these people don't get out of here. And then him passing it on to the person who is like technically in this, you know, this trio of like heavy hitters. Maurice is like the most innocent because of, you know, he owns a nonprofit. He's really trying to help the community. But he's like, no, Tony's making this my problem. I'm making it your problem. And I just think from all of this, all I get is that they're all shitty. Like they're all really shitty people.
The politician is just as much of a criminal as the mobster,
if not more.
Yeah,
yeah.
And we're seeing that conversation Maurice had with Ronnie after they got the money. I think they were talking about being good people. I'm forgetting the quote what he said.
He said, "Are we supposed to be the only ones that are honest men? Like, are we supposed to be the only ones that don't get a payout for all of this?"
You had one there too.
It's Ruby. It's Davies.
It's Davies.
It's mine.
No, they. I mean, I think they both realized. Sorry to cut in there, but I think they both realized that like it wasn't going anywhere. Like their purpose for doing the job that they didn't go anywhere, and then they're like, screw it, might as well just be shady and make money off of it.
And further than that, it's like there's already people being shady out there and making way more money and getting away with it. Like, why wouldn't we do the same?
Right.
So in a world like this, it's a bleak outlook, but you know, you can understand the logic behind the motivation.
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
Right. Also, did they not feel, so total side note, did they not feel like they were at risk just being out in public, like in the strip club, like they weren't going to be noticed or anything?
That is the one thing that, I mean, the strip club is one thing, but like that's the thing that I was wondering about when they were even like in the projects in Newark.
Right.
He was shaking Tony's hand in public. I'm like, brother, I mean, I get it. It's 2002. There's no social media, none of that stuff, but.
Right. And it's a neighborhood that like people probably avoid.
Yeah.
Not a
but
lot of
God
people there,
forbid somebody sees you shaking hands with Tony Soprano, which again, we don't really know how recognizable Tony is. If you like the show, if I have one critique of the show, it's that like we have no clear understanding of how like notable Tony is as a figure. Like, do people really know his name? Do people know who he is? Like that kind of stuff. But anyway,
I feel like they do. We've had little mentions here and there, like AJ at school, and then like
I think in the community that they're part of,
people
they
know.
People know. And then there's rumors that just spread around.
Right. And like, but like, there's a name of Tony Soprano, but do people know who he is? Although he like got shot very publicly, and there was this whole like thing. Like, I don't know. And I digress. I'm not going to dive into that. That's a really silly thing to nitpick. But anyway, yeah, I just think the assemblyman is being very brave in like seeing Tony in public like that.
Yeah.
But again, maybe it's just like the level of power that they have, and like the level of, you know, like screw it. We have so much power. We're running the show that it doesn't even matter. I guess is one way to potentially.
I think it has to do with that.
Yeah.
The power, the position that they're in. You know, they're in a higher rank in their community, in the town, in the city that they live in. Like, it's just, I think that's just how it works.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it even, you know, in local politics. There's families that run an entire town. They make all the decisions, right? So I think that correlates to this and how it all works.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking about that last shot after Tony beat the living shit out of Ronnie, where he just looks, him and Irina just look at each other, and she has like a tear rolling down, and then he kind of just like caresses her cheek, like gives her a tap and walks away.
Kind of aggressive too.
A little bit. But what do you guys feel was going on in that moment as my dad enters the house greeting Ruby? You probably heard it in the background. I feel like there was a connection there, maybe I'm misreading.
I feel like it's emotional, but I don't.
I'll just like keep talking. I'll just
yeah, I feel like there's an emotional, like, there's always feelings like after a breakup or whatever. There's always those like lingering feelings, and it was probably a little bit of that, and maybe it's a little bit of Irina also, you know, potentially realizing that she had spent all this time invested in Tony, and like maybe didn't take into account how big of a monster he was. Because I don't know how often she got to see this side of Tony.
I don't think very often.
Like, he definitely like freaked out on her and stuff like that, but she was in love, so she probably like let it slide. But the fact that she was seeing him beat the hell out of somebody that she supposedly loves now, I think it became very real.
Yeah.
She saw the true side of Tony.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. What do you think, Charlie? 'Cause I know you brought it up.
At first glance, I almost felt like there was still like a moment there, like we still kind of care for each other or whatever sort of thing. But now at a second watch,
I think she looks
seeing what you guys are saying.
Yeah, she's scared.
Although she does look back and whatever, and I don't know. She is scared, of course. She's petrified, but the way he looks at her, obviously, you can tell he's like still infatuated with her or cares about her or whatever.
I think he's looking a little down on her too.
You think so?
Yeah.
Not with that look. Not for me, at least. But I'm not that great at reading people. But with that look right there, I almost sense like regret or whatever.
I think he almost looks at her like, for lack of a better phrase, but the way he would say it, like tainted goods. You know what I mean? Like at this point, there's like no coming back from that. I think there's definitely like some hurt in the way that he's looking at her.
Yep.
100%. But I also think that I don't know. I don't know if he would go back.
Also, pay attention with the lyrics that are playing in the background.
Yeah, why do I love you so?
Yeah, and we know that music is very intentional. That's how Chase uses it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it literally says, "Oh, why do I love you so?" or whatever, while he's looking at her. He had a little smirk right there. Did he not?
You were analyzing every little frame here, like
I'm sorry. That part is what stood out to me from the entire episode. Is this glance at each other? She's like, her lip is quivering. He's just looking at her. He gives a tiny little tiniest little smirk. And yeah, oh girl, whatever. Why do I love you so? Taps her on the thing, walks away. He's still in love with her.
Yeah, maybe it's.
I don't know how she's feeling. I can't say from her reaction. I do think what you guys said is correct. But I also have a part of me that says that she's still
maybe in love with him. I mean, maybe it's her realizing she could never escape Tony.
Yeah.
He'll always be in her mind.
It's tough because like the fact that song originally was playing in the car and then he all of a sudden started having like all these feelings and rush of like something is there that is unresolved. But like it could also be related to the Gloria stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
that's true. That's true because she's the only one that's still alive.
Correct. Like he has this pent up anger that he's like unable to take out on.
Yeah, it's a great
Gloria
point.
now because Gloria's gone. Even though we saw that point, but he was very aggressive with her. And now like she's gone. So is it just like this romantic frustration that he can't figure out, you know, what is love to him? I don't think he actually knows because he can't love a single woman in his life properly, to be honest.
Yeah, he sees it very transactional, and
Very
I think
much so.
Yeah, so I think it's him. I think there's a possibility even Irina could hit him up. You know,
and you just said something important because maybe the fact that he treats his relationships as so transactional and now he sees somebody else like taking care of her and doing the transactional things of a relationship, which is the only way that he shows love, really, like that is what's setting him off.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's still with that shot and that little smirk, there's still so many possibilities with this. This is not ending.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
There's no closure here yet.
Nope.
So
yeah, I expect to see more of Irina and
for sure.
their dynamic going forward. But
for sure,
yeah,
God knows when that's going to happen. Maybe it's a season from now or 2 seasons. From
we'll see. Yeah,
but yeah, this is. I mean, she's definitely prevalent because she's been there from day one.
Yeah,
that we've seen.
That's true. We also have Paulie returning,
yes,
and he's still. That man is not happy with Tony.
No,
he was
still
not.
complaining.
He was not happy that him and Ralph were doing that business with the house,
and not including him,
and not including him. Another thing, like he just feels like he's getting thrown off to the side.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of buy it. I mean, he's been whining a little bit, so relax, Paulie. But I kind of buy it because you know he comes out of there, he complains to Tony, blah blah blah, which I get from Tony's perspective why he was like, bro, I just gave you a fistful of cash, like shut up, right? But at the same time, like, he just had another business opportunity. Like, could he have not found a way to cut Paulie in if Paulie's really struggling with money the way that he's saying? Like, again, I think that Tony has this level of pride where which he, you know, he thinks if somebody is in some way disrespecting him, as we've seen with Silvio and Paulie and others as well, like, he doesn't need to do them favors. But at the end of the day, like, this is politics. You got to take care of your people, and you don't want mutiny on your hands.
Yeah, it seems
But
like.
also, go ahead, Debbie. Sorry.
I'm just saying, it seems like Tony's not. He's compared to other seasons, he's struggling of taking care of his other people.
Yeah,
it seems like he's putting only the ones that are in danger to him by his side, which is Ralph.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well,
something.
Yeah, but also the thing is, Ralph is a big earner for him.
Exactly,
and that's why he keeps him around.
Yeah, he's about business.
Right.
Yeah, and maybe it's just him realizing that he can't trust anyone anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing I was going to say is you can remember the conversation that he had with Christopher.
Yeah.
He is kind of phasing out Sil, Paulie, all those guys. Like, his intent is to make Christopher the head honcho at some point. So,
right.
Yeah. But I think it's going to bite him in the ass. I really do. You don't want those guys that have been with you the whole way turning against you. And we're seeing the start of that with Paulie. And we saw a little bit with Sil making decisions behind Tony's back.
Yeah.
Paulie talking to Johnny Sack behind Tony's back, all that stuff. So we'll see where it goes.
We'll see where that goes. And with that being said, y'all, thank you so much for watching and listening to this reaction and discussion. We love you guys and see you soon for more Tony Tuesday. Stay beautiful, y'all.
See ya.